Excuse me. I just wanted to come over and make sure you're doing okay. Mind if I ask what you're doing out here this late? It's an unusual spot for a photographer.
The blue and red lights hit her before she even realized the patrol car had slid in behind her. 14-year-old Araya Cole froze on the sidewalk, the glow painting her skin in harsh, trembling colors. She'd only stepped out to film a quick behind-the-scenes vlog for her channel. Nothing unusual, nothing dangerous, nothing that should have made her heart pound like it did now. Officer Harding stepped out, heavy boots landing on wet asphalt. His tone carried the smug sharpness Araya knew too well. "Hey, stop right there." Araya turned, palms visible, camera still clipped to her backpack. I'm just walking home." Harding's eyes flicked over her. Judging. Deciding. "You kids think you own the streets. Show me some ID." "But I'm only 14. "Then you shouldn't be out here," he snapped, taking a slow step closer, hand resting near his holster. "What are you really doing?" The street seemed to shrink around her. Porch lights became spectators. Windows turned into silent witnesses. Araya felt her throat tighten, but her voice held steady. "I didn't do anything." Harding leaned in, breath sharp with bitterness. "Girls like you are always doing something." That line sliced straight through her. Her backpack shifted. The small mic clipped to her strap blinked red, recording. The officer noticed the light, eyes narrowing with sudden suspicion. "What's that?" he asked. Before she could answer, Harding reached for her backpack. A car door creaked somewhere behind them, and a familiar voice shouted her name. Araya spun toward it, and froze as the worst possible scenario unfolded right in front of her. Cut to black. Araya's wrist went cold before she even understood what was happening. The officer's fingers wrapped around her like metal, sharp and claiming. She tried to pull back on instinct, not even forcefully, just a startled twitch, but Harding yanked her closer as if she'd committed a crime right there on the sidewalk. "Stop resisting," he said, voice low and theatrical, like he wanted an audience. I'm not resisting," she said, throat tight. Her backpack slid down her shoulder, bumping against her hip. The mic blinked red again, steady, recording. She didn't dare look at it. Jalen skidded toward them from across the street. "Yo! Get your hands off her." Harding didn't turn. "Back up," he ordered. "This doesn't concern you." "It does when you grab my cousin like that," Jalen fired back. "She's a kid." Harding glanced over his shoulder, eyes filled with the calmness of someone who believed nothing could touch him. "Step away before I detain you too." Araya shook her head. "Jalen, don't." "No, he can't talk to you like." "I said step back," Harding snapped, lifting one hand slightly toward his belt. Not touching anything, just letting the gesture hang in the air, heavy and threatening. Jalen froze. "Man, come on." Araya tried again. "I didn't do anything. I'm just walking home." "That's what they all say," Harding replied. "Let me see the bag." "It's just my camera stuff." "So you admit you were recording me?" "I wasn't recording you," she said. "I wasn't even talking to you before you stopped me." Harding leaned in, breath warm and bitter against her cheek. "You don't get to act smart. Open the bag." A middle-aged man across the street raised his phone, recording. Harding noticed. His jaw clicked. "Sir," he barked, "put the phone down unless you want to interfere with a lawful investigation." "It's not lawful if she didn't do anything," the man said, but his voice wavered. His phone lowered. Harding smirked. "That's what I thought." Araya swallowed hard. She felt heat behind her eyes but refused to let tears fall. "Can I call my mom? Please?" "No," Harding said simply. "You can wait." "But I'm 14, she reminded him, hoping that meant something, anything. "That's exactly why you shouldn't be out here with suspicious equipment." "It's a camera," she whispered. Jalen stepped closer again. "She's a filmmaker. She literally posts videos every." "I told you to step back." Harding turned fully toward Jalen now. "Last warning." Jalen's fists clenched. His shoulders rose and fell with deep, shaky breaths. You're really out here harassing a kid because she's walking home with a bag? That's what you do. Harding didn't answer. He just tightened his grip on Araya's wrist until she winced. Stop, she said softly. Please. You're hurting me. Then cooperate, he replied. I am cooperating. Don't talk back. She bit down on her lip so hard it stung. Jalen's eyes went wide with helpless anger. Araya, don't say anything else. He's twisting everything. Harding tugged her forward. We're done playing. Open the bag or I'll open it for you. Araya finally nodded. Okay. Her free hand trembled as she pulled the zipper. The bag opened to reveal a camera, a mini tripod, a notebook covered in stickers, lip gloss, a spare battery pack. Normal things. Kid things. Harding stared as though expecting something dangerous to appear. What's this for? My channel, she whispered. Channel. I make videos. Harding's expression didn't change. You're telling me this childish setup makes videos worth stopping traffic for? Yes. Jalen stepped in again, voice rising. Man, she's famous. She has millions of. Quiet, Harding snapped. I don't care about whatever childish nonsense you people post online. Araya felt something in her chest fold inward. Not break, fold. Quietly, painfully. It's not nonsense, she said, almost too quietly to hear. What was that? She swallowed. It's not nonsense. Harding stared at her for a long, uncomfortable moment. The street, the houses, the dusk air. All of it felt suspended. Then, without warning, he let go of her wrist. Her skin tingled where his fingers had been. You can go, he said abruptly. Jalen blinked. That's it. After all that. Harding ignored him. Get home. Before I change my mind. Araya closed her bag slowly, her fingers stiff, her pulse still racing. She backed away, keeping her eyes on him. Jalen moved beside her protectively. Harding's voice followed them down the sidewalk. And if I see you out here again with that camera? He paused, letting the threat hang unspoken but unmistakable. Don't test me. Araya's breath hitched, but she didn't look back. She kept walking until the lights vanished behind a curve. Only then did she whisper, Jalen, my mic was on. Jalen stared at her. What? It recorded everything. The wind hushed around them. Araya tightened her grip on her backpack. We can't let this go. The police station lobby felt colder than outside. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, sharp and unforgiving. Araya sat beside her mother, shoulders tucked in, hands gripping the strap of her backpack. She could still feel Harding's fingers around her wrist. The memory wouldn't leave. Dr. Simone Cole stood at the counter, voice steady but razor-edged. My daughter was unlawfully detained and physically handled by Officer Harding. I want to file a complaint. Now. The desk sergeant, a tired-looking man with thinning hair, didn't look up from his computer. Ma'am, officers are allowed to stop suspicious individuals when. She is 14, Simone cut in. She was walking home. That is not suspicious. Jalen hovered protectively nearby. Tell him how the guy grabbed her, he urged. Tell him everything. Simone nodded. Yes. He grabbed her without cause. He refused to let her contact me. And he threatened my nephew. The sergeant finally exhaled. Look, you can write a statement, but Internal Affairs will decide whether it merits review. Then give me the paperwork, Simone said. A heavy silence settled. The sergeant clicked his mouse slowly. A second officer approached from the hallway, younger, maybe mid-20s. His badge read Ramirez. His eyes moved to Araya, the redness around her eyes, the way she sat stiffly, holding herself together. He spoke softly. Ma'am, Officer Harding is still on his shift. If there's a complaint, he'll need to be notified. Good, Simone said. Notify him. Ramirez hesitated. It might make things harder. Araya felt something tighten in her chest. Harder how? She whispered. Ramirez didn't answer directly. He's well connected in the department. Jalen scoffed. Translation, y'all protect him. Jalen, Simone murmured. No, he insisted. That's what it is. Ramirez's eyes darted nervously to the sergeant. I'm just saying, you should be prepared for the possibility that nothing happens. Simone straightened, shoulders squared like armor. Something will happen. I'm not walking out until the complaint is filed. The sergeant sighed loudly. Fine. Fill this out. He slid a clipboard across the counter. Simone took it and moved to a corner table. She began writing with meticulous precision. Araya leaned close, watching her mother's handwriting tremor slightly with anger. Mom, Araya whispered. Yes, baby. You believe me, right? Simone stopped writing. She cupped Araya's cheek gently. Of course I believe you. I'm furious this happened. But we are going to handle it the right way. Araya looked down. He kept saying I was resisting. You didn't resist, Simone said firmly. He abused his authority. That's on him, not you. Jalen chimed in, trying to sound lighter than he felt. Trust me, that dude was itching for power. Thought grabbing a kid would make him feel big. Araya didn't respond. She wasn't sure what to feel, fear, anger, shame. Everything tangled together. A door opened behind the counter. Officer Harding walked in. Araya's breath caught. He looked completely unchanged. Calm, composed, like the earlier confrontation had never happened. When his eyes landed on them, a faint smirk appeared. Well, he said, I see we're not done. Simone stood immediately. You assaulted my daughter. Harding raised an eyebrow. Assault. I detained a suspicious juvenile. Standard procedure. She's 14, Simone repeated. And acting evasive, Harding countered. Jalen snapped. She wasn't evasive. You had your hand on your holster for no reason. Harding ignored him. If you people want to exaggerate things, that's your choice, but I responded within protocol. Araya's eyes widened. You people. Simone heard it too. She stepped closer, her voice trembling with fury. I want your body cam footage reviewed. Harding shrugged. Didn't have it on. Shift change. Jalen barked a humorless laugh. Convenient. Simone turned to Ramirez. Isn't that a violation? Ramirez swallowed hard. He technically should have had it on. Then I want that noted, Simone said. The sergeant intervened, tone firm. Dr. Cole, I advise you to lower your expectations. We take all complaints seriously, but Officer Harding has an exemplary record. Araya blinked. What about the other kids he's stopped? The sergeant stiffened. What kids? Jalen stepped forward. Ask around. Everyone knows. Harding let out a low chuckle. Rumors don't count as evidence. Araya felt heat crawl up her neck. You grabbed me, she said quietly. You hurt me. Harding looked directly at her. No, I restrained you. There's a difference. Those words struck something deep. Araya opened her backpack just slightly. The mic inside glinted. Smonsa. Baby. Araya shook her head. Not yet. The sergeant tapped the counter impatiently. Finish the form. Internal affairs will follow protocol. Simone lifted the clipboard. And how long will that take? Could be days. Could be weeks. Jalen muttered under his breath. Could be never. The sergeant pretended not to hear. After 10 long minutes, Simone turned in the paperwork. The sergeant stamped it lazily, then set it aside like a restaurant receipt. That's it? Simone asked. That's the process, he replied. Araya watched the papers disappear into a drawer. Buried, swallowed, forgotten. As they walked out, Ramirez drifted near them, speaking quietly. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you it'll go somewhere. Simone sighed. At least you're honest. He hesitated. If you want real movement, sometimes going through the station isn't enough. What do you mean? Araya asked. Ramirez glanced around nervously. Some families go public. Araya's stomach twisted. Public? Ramirez nodded once. It forces accountability. But it also brings attention you might not want. Simone tightened her grip on Araya's shoulder. We're not making decisions tonight. We're going home. Outside, nighttime had settled fully. The streetlights hummed softly. Araya inhaled the cold air, trying to steady herself. Jalen kicked at a pebble. They're not doing anything. You know that, right? Simone frowned. Jalen. No. Someone has to say it. They're protecting him. Araya hugged her backpack closer. Her mind replayed Harding's smirk, the sergeant's indifference, the quiet warning in Ramirez's voice. She whispered, I have the audio. Simone turned. What? Araya finally unzipped her bag enough to show the blinking mic. It recorded everything. Simone stood frozen in the lot's dim light. Jalen whispered, Araya, that's big. Simone closed her eyes for a moment, then exhaled. We'll talk at home. As they walked toward the car, Araya glanced once over her shoulder. Through the station window, Officer Harding watched them leave, arms crossed, face unreadable. Araya gripped her backpack. She didn't know what scared her more, what he had done tonight, or what he might do next. Araya shut her bedroom door and leaned against it, sliding down until she was sitting on the carpet. Her breath trembled out of her. The house was silent except for the distant sound of her mother pacing in the kitchen. Jalen was downstairs arguing softly with Simone, their voices muffled but tense. Araya pressed her hands over her face. Why did this even happen? She whispered to herself. Her camera bag sat on the floor, the red light from the mic blinking faintly like a heartbeat. She stared at it for a long time before finally reaching inside and taking out the recorder. Her thumb brushed the side. The device felt heavier than usual, like it carried the whole night inside it. A quiet knock sounded at her door. Hey! Jalen's voice. She wiped her eyes. Yeah, it's open. Jalen stepped inside, hands in his pockets, expression softening when he saw her on the floor. Hey, you okay? No, her voice cracked. Not even a little. He sat beside her. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That he's messed up. Araya swallowed hard. He looked at me like I wasn't even a person. Jalen nodded slowly. Yeah, I know that look. Araya pulled her knees to her chest. Mom's scared. I can tell. She's not scared of him, Jalen said. She's scared of the system that keeps guys like him safe. That hit harder than she expected. She held up the recorder. I want to listen to it. Jalen frowned. Are you sure? It might mess you up more. I already keep hearing it in my head, she whispered. I need to hear what actually happened. Jalen nodded reluctantly. If you want, I'll stay. Araya powered on the device. The small screen flickered to life. She pressed play. Harding's voice filled the room instantly. Cold, sharp, unmistakable. Stop resisting. Araya flinched at the sound. The audio played on. Her trembling voice insisting she wasn't resisting. Jalen shouting, Harding threatening, the bystander being intimidated into backing down. Every second felt like ripping open a wound. Jalen winced. Man, hearing it like this. It's even worse. Araya paused the recording. He lied about everything. He said I was evasive. He said he barely touched me. You got it on tape, Jalen said. He can't talk his way out of that. Her eyes drifted to her computer, the soft glow of the screensaver bouncing across the room. Her channel logo floated by. Bright, cheerful, nothing like how she felt now. I could post it, she murmured. Jalen hesitated. I could blur his face maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. She pressed her fingertips to her forehead. Millions of people watch my videos. If I put this out there, people would see the truth. Jalen nodded. Yeah, they would. But it would mean everyone knowing what happened. Everyone seeing me like that. Her voice cracked again. They'd know where I live, what school I go to. I get hate comments. But Mom would lose it. Jalen didn't deny it. Yeah, probably. Silence filled the room. After a moment he said softly, but think about all the kids who've been stopped like you. The ones who didn't have a mic on. You could help them. She knew he was right. That made it worse. Her phone buzzed on the carpet. A text from Maya, her channel manager. Maya, heard what happened. Please don't post anything yet. We should talk first. Legal stuff. Another message came in from Nate, her editor. Nate. Yoa, we're here for you, but going public is nuclear level. Think before you hit upload. Araya exhaled shakily. They don't want me to do it. Jalen shrugged. They care about you. But they also care about your brand. That's different. Araya shook her head. I don't care about the brand right now. He raised an eyebrow. Really? You built that channel from scratch. 1 million followers isn't nothing. I know. Her voice softened. But none of that protected me tonight. Jalen looked down at the recorder. You don't owe anyone anything, eh? But you got something solid. Something most people never get. Araya stared at the glowing screen of the recorder, reflecting in her eyes like a small, unblinking truth. Soft footsteps approached the room. Simone knocked once, then entered. Her face looked older, drained. How are you holding up? Araya shrugged. I don't know. Simone sat on the bed. I know tonight was traumatic, and I hate that you experienced it. But I need you to hear me. Whatever we do next has to be safe. I know, Araya whispered. No, baby. Really safe. Simone's voice cracked. People retaliate. Systems retaliate. Videos go viral and families get doxxed, targeted. I don't want that for you. But doing nothing feels wrong, Araya said. Simone closed her eyes. I know. Jalen stood and backed toward the door. I'm gonna give you 2 a minute. When he left, Simone reached for Araya's hand. You are brilliant. You are talented. You are brave. But you are also a child, and it is my job to protect you. Araya pulled her hand away gently. I'm not trying to start a war. I know, Simone said softly. I just want him to be held accountable. Her voice trembled. And I want people to know what he did. Simone looked toward the recorder lying beside them. You got it all. Every word. A long silence. The house felt too quiet, too fragile. Simone exhaled. Whatever choice you make, we'll face it together. But I need you to rest tonight. Tomorrow we can think clearly. Araya nodded, but her heart had already taken a step ahead of her. After Simone left, Araya quietly connected the recorder to her computer. The audio file appeared. She renamed it Harding Stop Evidence Final.wave. Then she dragged a copy into cloud storage. Jalen peeked through her door again. You okay? Araya looked up, eyes steady now. I made a backup. Jalen's expression softened with pride and fear. So, you're doing this. Araya looked at the screen, at the file glowing like a match waiting for flame. I don't know yet, she said. But deep down she already did. Jalen's fingers flew over his keyboard, the glow of his laptop screen lighting his face in shifting blues and whites. Araya sat on the edge of his bed, hugging a pillow, watching the tension in his shoulders. He had barely spoken since pulling up the database he'd found, some half-public, half-leaked forum where locals shared stories the police often ignored. Okay, he murmured, scrolling. Listen to this. Araya leaned closer. Jalen read aloud. He stopped me outside the gas station last fall, asked if my bike was stolen. I was 14. Araya's stomach tightened. 14. Jalen scrolled again. Here's another one. Harding said my hoodie made me look suspicious. I was waiting for my little sister at school. She swallowed. How many are there? Too many. Jalen looked up at her. He's been doing this for years. Araya felt the air leave her lungs. And nobody did anything. Complaints get buried, Jalen said. You saw it last night. They don't want trouble. Araya shook her head. But if so many kids were stopped, someone must have talked. Yeah, Jalen said quietly. They did. But nobody with a platform like yours. The words hung heavy between them. Before she could respond, a notification pinged on Jalen's screen. Wait, he whispered. Somebody just replied to my post asking for stories. A new message popped up. User, Ruth. If it's Harding you're asking about, talk to the twins who live near Ridge Park. He jacked them up last spring. Scared them bad. Araya whispered, twins. How old? Jalen typed quickly. Age. The response came almost instantly. 13. Araya closed her eyes, feeling anger rise like heat. Jalen kept scrolling. He got backed by the department every time. They said he was proactive. That's what they called what he did to me. Araya whispered. Proactive. Jalen looked away. Yeah, pretty much. She pressed her hands together. Play the recording again. Jalen hesitated. Hey, you sure? I need to hear it. He pulled up the audio she'd sent him earlier, hitting play. Harding's voice filled the room once more. Mocking, sharp, dismissive. Her own voice shook in the background, soft and scared. Jalen clenched his jaw. He talks like he owns the street. Araya whispered. He thinks he does. When the recording ended, Jalen shut the laptop. Okay. There's more. More. He rubbed his forehead. A custodian at the station leaked something a year ago. A hallway audio clip. Nobody proved it was Harding, but, listen. He played another recording. Grainy, muffled, but clear enough. A man's voice said, they need to learn respect. Another responded nervously. You can't keep pushing kids around, Harding. One day someone'll report you. The first voice laughed. Yeah, let them try. The department knows I get results. Araya's pulse spiked. That's him. Sounds like him, Jalen agreed. Her hands trembled. He knows they protect him. Jalen nodded grimly. Exactly. He's shielded. That's why he's bold. A soft knock came from downstairs, followed by Simone calling up. Dinner. Jalen sighed. We should go. Araya didn't move. I don't feel hungry. He sat beside her. Look. You don't have to make a decision tonight. But we're not helpless. We can gather everything. Stories, recordings, patterns. Build a timeline. Araya stared at her hands. Like an investigation. Exactly, Jalen said. If they bury your mom's complaint, we'll have evidence ready. Araya whispered, I'm scared. I know, he said gently. But you're not alone. They went downstairs. Simone served dinner, but her smile was tight, distracted. She kept glancing at the front window, as though expecting something to happen. Araya pushed her food around the plate. Simone finally asked, What were you two working on upstairs? Jalen answered first. Research. Simone frowned. Research on what? Harding, Jalen said bluntly. Simone sighed. Jalen. No, he said. He's got complaints going back years. Nothing ever sticks. Your complaint won't stick either. Simone's jaw tightened. We don't know that. We do, Araya said softly. Mom, he's done this before. A lot. Simone looked between them. How do you know? Jalen turned his laptop around, showing the posts, the testimonies, the patterns. Simone's eyes scanned the screen and hardened with every line. She whispered. He terrorized children. Araya nodded. And he gets promoted. Simone closed the laptop gently. This is bigger than us. If we push too hard. Jalen cut in. If you don't push, nothing changes. Simone stared at him. You're talking about a department that protects its own. A man who knows the system. This could put us in danger. Araya's voice cracked. Mom. Every kid he stopped was in danger. Simone looked at her daughter for a long time, something breaking in her expression. I know. A quiet settled across the table. After dinner, Araya returned to her room. She paced in small circles, anxiety coiling tight inside her. She kept replaying Harding's voice, the smirk, the grip on her wrist. Her phone vibrated. A video message from Maya. When Araya opened it, Maya's worried face filled the screen. Honey, I heard from Jalen that you have audio. Listen. You're brilliant, but this is serious. You're a minor. If you post anything, it'll go nuclear. I've seen creators get doxxed for less. Please don't upload anything without talking to me. Araya sank onto her bed. Another message came right after from Nate. If you need, I can edit the audio to protect your identity. But I don't think you should release it yet. Not until you're safe. Araya whispered. I wasn't safe last night. She opened the audio waveform on her laptop again. The lines of sound stretched across the screen like scars. Visible proof, undeniable. She whispered to herself. He's done this before. And he'll do it again. Her pulse thudded in her chest. Araya clicked a folder labeled Evidence. Harding. Inside it, she added screenshots Jalen had gathered. She copied the hallway audio too. A slow, steady archive began forming. A documentary of harm. Another knock came at her door. Simone stood there, eyes tired but resolved. Jalen showed me everything. I still want to protect you. But I can't ignore the truth. Araya's throat tightened. So what do we do? Simone stepped inside. We prepare. Quietly. Carefully. If the department won't hold him accountable, then we find someone who will. Araya exhaled shakily. Simone touched her shoulder. But whatever you choose, I'll stand with you. Araya looked back at the glowing screen. Harding's voice echoed in her mind. You don't get to act smart. Araya whispered. He picked the wrong kid. Araya barely slept. She lay awake staring at the ceiling, the events replaying in loops. Harding's grip, the humiliation, the sergeant's dismissal. By morning, her chest felt tight, but her mind was sharp with a strange clarity. She slipped out of bed and opened her laptop. The screen lit her face in pale blue. Jalen texted almost immediately. Jalen, you up? Araya, I'm doing it today. Jalen. Doing what? Araya didn't answer. Instead, she opened her editing software. The audio file sat centered on her timeline like a loaded truth. She flinched when a soft knock came at her door. Come in, she said quietly. Simone peeked in. You're awake early. Araya nodded. Couldn't sleep. Simone sat beside her on the bed. Baby. The attorney your uncle recommended can meet today. He offered to review the complaint. Araya bit her lip. Mom. The complaint isn't going anywhere. Simone exhaled. Maybe. But we're trying. Araya turned her laptop slightly, showing the audio waveform. I need to show people what he did. Simone went still. Araya. No, Araya said firmly. You heard him. You heard what the station manager said. They won't help. But millions of people will listen. Simone closed her eyes. Going public is irreversible. Araya whispered. So was what he did to me. A long silence passed between them. Finally Simone said. Just be careful. Don't show your location. Don't show your face the entire time. Araya blinked. So you're not stopping me? I can't stop you, Simone whispered. I can only help you stay safe. Araya swallowed hard. Then stay with me while I record. Simone nodded, eyes shining. Araya set up her microphone. Just audio, no video of her face. She wrapped her blanket around herself even though she wasn't cold. For a moment she froze, unable to speak. Simone squeezed her shoulder. Whenever you're ready. Araya pressed record. Her voice trembled at first. I wasn't planning to post anything today. But something happened. Something I can't keep quiet about. She inhaled shakily. Last night while walking home, I was stopped by a police officer. I did nothing wrong. I was just a kid with a camera bag. She clicked play on the audio so listeners would hear each moment as she narrated it. Harding's voice filled the room. Simone's jaw clenched. When Araya finished recording, her hands were shaking. Do you want to stop? Simone asked. No, Araya whispered. I want to upload it. Jalen burst into her room without knocking. Oh, wait before you post anything. Araya turned to him. I'm ready. Jalen stared. You're actually doing it? Yes. He ran a hand over his face. Okay. If you're doing this, then let me help. Let me stay with you while it uploads. Araya clicked. Upload video. A spinning wheel appeared. Processing. Uploading. Her heart pounded in her ears. 5 minutes later the video went live. Jalen exhaled. It's up. Araya's stomach dropped. It's up. Simone whispered. God help us. Within 20 minutes, the view counter jumped from 500 to 3,000. Jalen stared. Okay, this is happening fast. Comments poured in. This audio is terrifying. Why does he sound so angry at a kid? Protect this girl. This happens way too often. Araya covered her mouth with her hand. Simone paced the room. We need to lock down our social media privacy settings. Now. Jalen nodded and grabbed her phone. I got it. The counter hit 12,000 views. Then 20,000. Then 50,000. Araya whispered. It's blowing up. Simone's phone rang. She answered sharply. Hello. Yes, I've seen the video. Yes, she's with me. No, we're not making any further statements. She hung up. That was a reporter. Another call came in. She ignored it. Jalen refreshed the page. Your subscriber count is exploding. You gained 70,000 in 20 minutes. Araya swallowed. I didn't do this for that. I know, he said. Just then, her phone buzzed with a private message from Maya. Maya, girl. What did you do? CNN and BuzzNews are already asking for statements. A second message. Nate, this video is everywhere. Stay safe, please. Araya's hand shook. I didn't expect it to be this fast. Simone gently took her phone. You're not responding to anyone right now. Jalen looked at the screen again. This is bad. Araya froze. What? He pointed. A new comment sat at the top. This audio is fake. Clout chasing. Another. She edited it. And another. Kids lie. Araya swallowed. I knew there'd be trolls. Jalen nodded. Ignore them. Look at the majority. People believe you. Another notification popped up. The local news outlet posted a clip of her audio with the caption, Teen documents police harassment. Investigation demanded. Araya whispered. Investigation. Simone nodded. People are calling for it. Jalen frowned. But Harding won't just sit there quietly. He was right. Because across town in the police station, Harding stared at the same viral video. He slammed his fist on the desk. She recorded me. Child. This little girl thinks she can destroy my job. Another officer stepped back. Harding, calm down. No, Harding's voice shook with rage. I want this taken down. She doesn't get to twist this. She didn't twist anything, the officer murmured. It's your voice. Harding's face reddened. The department better handle this. If they don't, I will. Back in Araya's house, the view count passed 200,000. Araya whispered, What happens now? Simone didn't answer. Jalen placed a careful hand on Araya's shoulder. Now, everyone's watching. A notification pinged on her laptop. A verified news anchor had retweeted the video, adding, This audio is hard to listen to. This young girl deserves justice. Araya's breath shook. Her words had left her room and exploded into the world. The city hall overflowed by the time Araya arrived. Cameras flashed, reporters shouted, and people squeezed shoulder to shoulder in the long hallway leading to the municipal hearing room. The sudden public attention felt unreal, like walking into a storm she'd accidentally summoned. Jalen whispered, "Yo, this crowd is wild." Araya kept her hood up, gripping her mother's hand. "Why are there so many people?" "Because your video hit 2 million views," Simone said quietly. "People want answers." Security guards guided them toward the front row where families who had submitted statements were seated. Araya recognized one of the boys from Jalen's research, the younger twin, Mason. He looked at her with wide, nervous eyes. She offered a small nod. The oversight board members filed in, a stern group of officials in suits and stiff posture. The audience quieted as the chair tapped the microphone. "This special meeting is convened to address allegations involving Officer Daniel Harding." A murmur rippled through the room. Harding sat on the opposite side, clean uniform, jaw tight, attorney at his elbow. He glanced at Araya once, cold, mocking before turning away. Jalen muttered, "He still looks smug." Araya whispered, "Maybe not for long." The board chair cleared her throat. "We will begin by hearing statements from community members." A middle-aged woman stepped up first. Her voice shook. "Officer Harding stopped my sons for riding their bikes. He accused them of stealing them. They were terrified." Mason stood next, wringing his hands. "He told us we looked like troublemakers. We were going to practice soccer." Harding's attorney leaned toward him, whispering instructions. Harding kept his face blank. More testimonies followed. Quiet voices, trembling voices, angry voices. The room grew heavier with each statement. The chair finally said, "We will now address the viral audio released by Miss Araya Cole." Reporters surged forward. Araya's heart pounded so loudly she almost didn't hear her name. Simone touched her shoulder. "You don't have to go up there if you can't." Araya took a breath. "No, I need to." She walked to the podium. Her knees felt weak, but her voice, surprisingly, did not. "My name is Araya Cole. I'm 14. She looked at the board. "I was walking home when Officer Harding stopped me. I wasn't doing anything wrong." A hush settled. "He grabbed my wrist. He scared me. And he lied about what happened afterward." The chair nodded. "We've all heard the recording. Would you like to add anything?" Araya swallowed. "Just that the video wasn't about going viral. I didn't want fame or attention. I wanted to feel safe. Kids should feel safe." A murmur of agreement filled the room. Harding's attorney stood abruptly. "With respect, this child's words are being taken out of context. 10 seconds of audio does not demonstrate misconduct." A chorus of boos erupted. Araya lifted her chin. "It wasn't 10 seconds. It was 5 minutes. And I have the full recording." Her words cut through the noise. Harding's attorney stiffened. "That audio is illegally obtained. It was recorded by her." The chair interjected. "It is admissible." Harding finally spoke, his voice strained. "This is ridiculous. I acted according to procedure. She fit a description." Gasps spread through the room. Simone stood abruptly. "A description of what?" "A child with a backpack." Harding glared. "Ma'am, your daughter was wandering around at night with recording equipment. How was I supposed to know her intentions?" Araya stepped forward slightly. "You never asked me anything like that. You only assumed." Harding slammed a hand on the table. "I didn't slam her. I didn't hurt anyone. This is all exaggerated." The board chair raised her voice. "Officer Harding, control yourself." Harding's face flushed. "She's lying." "No, she isn't," Mason whispered from his seat. A chorus of children murmured in agreement. Adults nodded. Reporters captured everything. The chair sighed. "Officer Harding, the audio is deeply concerning. Your tone, your language, your handling of a minor." Harding snapped. She resisted. Araya's voice broke through softly. "I didn't." Her calmness carried more weight than Harding's fury. The board chair leaned forward. Given the testimonies, the audio evidence, and the apparent pattern of behavior, we are ordering a formal internal investigation effective immediately. Officer Harding, you are placed on temporary suspension. Shouts erupted, some cheering, some gasping. Harding's eyes widened. You can't suspend me based on this circus. His attorney tried to quiet him. Daniel, stop. Harding pointed directly at Araya. This kid ruined my life. She's lying, and all of you are helping her. You'll regret this. Security moved toward him. Simone rushed to Araya, pulling her close. Let's go. Now. As they hurried out, Harding's voice carried down the hallway, echoing off marble walls. This isn't over. You hear me? It's not over. Outside, reporters swarmed. Cameras pressed forward. Microphones stretched toward her. Do you feel vindicated? Are you afraid of retaliation? What do you want to happen next? Simone shielded her. No questions. My daughter is a minor. Jalen shoved through the crowd. Back up. Give her space. Araya kept her eyes on the ground, her heart racing. The adrenaline, the fear, the relief. It all mixed into something dizzying. They made it to the car. Simone slammed the door shut and locked it. Jalen let out a long breath. He lost it in there. Araya whispered, He hates me. No, Simone said softly. He fears you. Araya stared out the window at the flashing cameras, the shouting reporters, the oncoming storm of public attention. For the first time since the night he grabbed her wrist, she felt the power shift. But the fear didn't leave. Because she knew rage like Harding's didn't disappear. It retaliated. Harding slammed his front door so hard the frame rattled. His uniform jacket hit the floor a second later. Rage pulsed through him like heat. His phone buzzed non-stop. News alerts, angry messages, calls from co-workers who suddenly didn't want to speak to him directly. He paced the living room, muttering, Suspended. For what? For doing my damn job. He kicked over a stack of mail, then grabbed his phone and dialed a number. The deputy chief's voice answered with a weary sigh. Daniel, now isn't a good time. You suspended me based on a child's upload. It's not just the video, the chief said. The board reviewed other complaints. Old ones. Those were dismissed, Harding snapped. Dismissed doesn't mean forgotten. People are coming forward. Journalists are digging. I can't shield you. Harding's voice rose. You owe me. No, the chief interrupted. I don't. Not anymore. The line went dead. Harding stared at his phone in disbelief. Then he threw it across the room. Across town, Araya sat on her bed, knees pulled to her chest as Jalen read social media comments aloud. Harding should be fired. Protect this girl. How many kids did he hurt? Araya stared at the screen. I didn't mean for this to go so big. Jalen shook his head. You didn't make him act like that. He did that himself. Simone entered with a cup of tea. Drink this. Araya took it with trembling hands. Mom, am I safe? Simone hesitated. We're being careful. The attorney said we should stay alert, but the investigation makes retaliation less likely. That doesn't make me feel better, Araya whispered. Simone sat beside her. Baby, what you did was brave. But bravery comes with echoes. Araya looked at her. Echoes. Fallout. Reactions. People will praise you, but some will attack you. Trauma doesn't disappear just because the truth is out. Jalen added softly. But you're not dealing with it alone. Araya nodded, though her chest still felt tight. Her phone buzzed with a text from Maya. Maya, your video hit 8 million views. But please take a break. You don't have to read comments or post anything. Another from Nate. Nate, don't feel pressured to create. Just breathe. Araya closed her eyes. I can't even open my camera app without shaking. Simone pulled her close. You aren't required to be strong every second. Meanwhile, Harding sat in his car outside the station. He watched officers walk in without glancing his way. Two of them whispered something. One shook his head. Harding slammed his fist on the steering wheel. Cowards! A notification appeared. Internal Affairs interview, mandatory tomorrow. He let out a disbelieving laugh. They're really doing this. For the first time, fear slipped into his voice. At home, Araya scrolled through emails. Hundreds from supporters, activists, teachers, parents. But buried in the flood were darker ones. Liar! Your mom put you up to this. Stop ruining people's lives. She flinched at each one. Jaylen noticed. Don't read that trash. I can't help it, she whispered. Simone took her phone. Then I'm hiding your inbox for now. Araya rubbed her temples. Mom, I keep hearing him in my head. The way he said girls like you. Simone's face softened with pain. That wound takes time. Araya's voice cracked. What if it never stops hurting? It will, Simone said. But slowly. Healing isn't a race. Jaylen added. You're still UA. Even if you feel shaken. Araya stared at her backpack across the room. The same one she wore that night. She hated looking at it. I don't feel like me, she whispered. The next day, news reports exploded with fresh information. Jaylen burst into Araya's room holding his laptop open. Look, he said. 3 more families just came forward. And a journalist posted an article saying Harding's reports had inconsistencies. Araya frowned. Inconsistencies. Like he filed identical wording in multiple stops. And omitted body cam details repeatedly. Simone joined them, scanning the article. This is significant. It's a pattern. Jaylen kept scrolling. And listen to this. Sources inside the department say Harding's supervisors expressed concerns in the past but took no formal action. Araya whispered. So they knew. Simone looked heartbroken. Yes, they did. Araya hugged her knees. Then why didn't anyone stop him? Jaylen sighed. Because systems protect themselves before they protect kids. That evening, Araya tried filming a normal vlog. She set her camera on the tripod, hit record, and froze. Her eyes glistened. Her breath shook. I can't. She shut off the camera. Jaylen stood in the doorway. It's okay. You don't owe the internet anything. Araya whispered. But making videos was the one place I felt safe. Simone hugged her gently from behind. When you're ready, that space will still be there. Right now, your heart needs time. Araya leaned into her. I don't want him to take this from me, she murmured. And he won't, Simone said. Not forever. Across town, Harding sat in a dark living room. His suspension email sat open. The words pending investigation glowed on the screen. His phone buzzed, an unknown number. He answered sharply. Who is this? A shaky voice responded. It's Darren. From the squad. Listen, they're not defending you anymore. The union's backing away. What? Harding sat up straight. They can't. They can, Darren said. Bro, they're saying you're on your own. Harding's breath quickened. They can't abandon me. Kept numbers up. I did everything they wanted. Silence. That's the problem, Darren finally said. They don't want to admit what you did. So, they're letting you burn alone. The call ended. Harding stared into the dark, finally understanding what the department had really valued. Not him. Not his loyalty. Just the image. And now he was the stain. Back in her room, Araya pulled her blanket over herself. Jaylen sat beside her, handing her his headphones. What's this? She asked. Something to help, he said. Music. Not the audio. Not the news. Just quiet. Araya placed the headphones on. A soft piano piece drifted in. Gentle, warm, grounding. Her breathing slowed. Jaylen whispered. Everything's changing, eh? But that doesn't have to break you. Araya stared at the ceiling. It wasn't over. Not the investigation. Not her healing. Not the fear. But for the first time, she felt the weight shifting off her shoulders, if only a little. She whispered, "What happens next?" Jalen smiled softly. "Justice," he said. "Messy, slow, painful justice." Araya didn't know what justice truly looked like. But she knew the collapse of Harding's shield was only the beginning. The morning Harding was fired, the news broke before sunrise. Araya woke to her phone vibrating non-stop on the nightstand. She squinted at the bright screen, heartbeat quickening as headline after headline filled her notifications. Officer Harding terminated after internal investigation. Multiple victims file coordinated complaints. Teens viral audio sparks policy review. She sat up slowly, rubbing her eyes. A strange mixture of relief and heaviness settled in her chest. Jalen burst into her room without knocking. "It happened. He's done." Araya blinked. "You're serious." Serious, Jalen said, waving his phone. The chief gave a statement. Harding's fired, pending civil litigation from 6 families. Araya leaned back against her pillows. "It really happened." Simone entered with a cautious expression. "Baby, it's true." She sat on the edge of the bed. "They're letting the victims file together with a civil rights organization. It'll be stronger that way." Araya whispered. "Is he going to jail?" "Not today," Simone said. "This is civil, not criminal. But consequences are finally catching up to him." Jalen added. "And they're reviewing his old cases. Reporters are all over it." Araya nodded slowly, absorbing the magnitude. I thought it would feel lighter." Simone smoothed her hair. "Justice doesn't erase pain. It just makes room to heal." Araya hugged her pillow. "I still hear him sometimes." "That too will take time," Simone said gently. Across town, Harding shoved clothes into a duffel bag. His face was red, jaw tight, eyes burning with humiliation. His phone buzzed with another news alert. He hurled it against the wall. "They all turned on me," he muttered. "Every single one. No union support. No colleagues checking in. Past supervisors offering scripted statements about concerns they never acted on. His entire identity, badge, authority, protection, gone in 48 hours. He stared at his reflection in the dark TV screen. For the first time, he saw something he couldn't deny. A ruined man. Later that afternoon, Araya sat in the living room with Simone and Jalen as the Civil Rights Legal Group held a video call with them. A poised attorney with silver glasses looked at Araya through the screen. "Miss Cole, thank you for meeting with us. We want to discuss the possibility of your audio being used as part of a national training program. Departments across the country are requesting it." Araya blinked. "My audio?" "Yes," the attorney said. "With your permission. It would remain anonymous and redacted. But it's powerful." Araya hesitated. "I don't know." Jalen nudged her gently. It could help people." Simone added softly. "Only if you're comfortable." Araya exhaled. "I need time to think." "Of course," the attorney said. "There's no rush." The call ended. Simone turned to her. "How do you feel?" Araya stared at the darkened screen. "I don't want to be famous for this." "You aren't," Simone said. "You're known for your voice. For speaking up." Araya whispered. "I didn't realize how heavy a voice could be." Simone pulled her into a hug. "It's heavy because it mattered." The next day, Araya walked with Jalen to the small park near her neighborhood. They hadn't come here since the night Harding grabbed her. The sidewalk still held echoes of everything that happened. Araya stopped at the corner. "This is where he pulled up." Jalen nodded quietly. She touched her wrist reflexively. The phantom imprint of Harding's grip still lingered. "I don't know if I'm ready," she murmured. Jalen said softly. "Then we go slow." They walked to the exact spot where the streetlight cast its pale glow. Cars passed lazily. Birds chirped. Nothing dangerous or charged. But the memory clung to the air. Araya whispered. I hate that I'm scared here. That's normal, Jalen said. But look, he's not here. And he's not coming. She closed her eyes. Do you think I did the right thing? Jalen answered without hesitation. Yeah. No question. Araya let out a shaking breath. Even if it changed everything. Some things needed changing, he said. She looked at him, eyes wet. I feel older. Jalen shrugged gently. You grew. That's all. They stood there quietly until Araya's breathing eased. Back at home, Araya opened her YouTube dashboard for the first time in days. She hovered over the new video button. Not to talk about Harding. Not to talk about trauma. She wanted to reclaim something. She clicked record. Her voice came out soft but steady. I know things have been different lately. I haven't been sure what to say. But I want to remind everyone watching that this channel is still a safe place. And that speaking up doesn't make you fearless. Just means you refuse to stay silent. I'm learning that bravery isn't one big moment. It's every small step after. You pause. I'm still healing. I'm still scared sometimes. But I'm still here. And that matters. He hit stop. Jalen peeked in from the doorway. That felt like you. Araya smiled faintly. Yeah, it did. That evening, she and Simone sat on the porch watching the sky turn orange. The world had shifted so fast it still felt like she was catching up. Simone squeezed her hand. I'm proud of you. Araya leaned her head on her mother's shoulder. I'm proud of us. Across the neighborhood, streetlights flickered on. One in particular, the one from that night, glowed steady and warm. Araya watched it, heart steadying with each quiet breath. Harding had lost his badge, his shield, his protection. Araya had lost some innocence, some ease, some trust. But she hadn't lost her voice. She whispered, I didn't think I could survive all this. Simone kissed her forehead. You didn't just survive, she said softly. You changed something. For the first time since the night everything shattered, Araya believed her. The street felt different now. The fear was still there, soft, lingering, but no longer in control. Araya stood, looking at the sidewalk where her life had shifted. Then she turned toward home. And she kept walking,